7 days from today, Arsenal will be taking on Man City at the Etihad Stadium, and most of the Arsenal fans have been asking me, Rokani, what's all about the Bukayo Saka injury update ever since he left the St. George Park premises where the England national team was really residing to really take place to prepare for their two friendlies against Brazil and Belgium. Yesterday, England was beaten by Brazil 1-0. Bukayo Saka out of action. Harry Kane was out of action. Kyle Walker played like 30 minutes. He went off the field of play. Very many other players that have gonna hit to be missing out in action. Luke Shaw and very many others. But it looks like there is something that might act as a glimmer of hope for Bukayo Saka to get into the team of Arsenal as they play away at Manchester City. Oli Watkins is really getting hails all over the world and from all corners of the mattering corners of football. And this time round, the Arsenal target Douglas Luiz has gone ahead and obviously spoken a lot about this guy, Lautaro Martinez, who missed out on a penalty that would have gone ahead to obviously keep Inter Milan into the queue to go to the round of 8 in the Champions League, has come out and really spoken about his future plans and what the critics are really talking about him and what he really has to say to them. Let's see close to 300 likes much of this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name. You can as well call me RD, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers, by the way, and the journey is on, and we now have 20,200 subscribers. Now let's make it a point that by the end of this week we hit 20,300 subscribers. Slowly by slowly we'll hit 21 subscribers, then we'll really hit that magic number of 30 subscribers onto this beautiful YouTube channel that brings you your latest news from all teams apart from Man United. Now, the Muslims, Barak, Laufikum and Ramadan Karim. To the Christians, Happy Palm Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday. This is the day that Jesus entered Jerusalem, right? On a donkey. Was it a horse or donkey? One of those. And Jesus entered Jerusalem. And next Sunday is going to be Easter. And for the Christians, they've gone ahead obviously work hard, and they've gone ahead obviously put it to bed. I'm talking about their month of Lent. Now, let's obviously start it off from an update coming in through from this guy is really a close source onto Arsenal. He's known as Team News Antics. He's really close to Arsenal. He's one of those people on X that always drops that news that such and such a player is out towards the game, so and so's gonna hit to start for Arsenal. And he has given us a very huge Bukayo Saka injury update that he has been carrying an injury for a long time, and he regularly goes away to have an extra treatment on it. England didn't think it was worth putting him under more strain for games that mean very little. He wasn't pulled out by Arsenal. He should be fit. He should be fine for the game versus Man City. So it has been put all over the world that Bukayo Saka, he's really trying his level best to see to it that he comes out and really gets things going. This injury has been explained to us and reported by very many media outlets, right? But I've always told you one thing. I'm not saying he's not injured, but why is it that when there is a drought of goals for Bukayo Saka, this is when things really start to happen, that he's really injured and so on and so forth? I tell you, when Bukayo Saka is really playing well, you'll never hear these stories that he has an injury or what. But I understand him pulling out for the England side. It's really one of those things that any manager will really understand. Bukayo Saka, by the way, he's on a run of getting himself into the Ballon d'Or race. I tell you, because when you look at this season, his team is topping the Premier League, and he has gone ahead to score 13 goals in the Premier League, and he has 8 assists in the Premier League. When you go to the Champions League, 7 games played, he has 3 goals and 4 assists. That is Bukayo Saka for you. So if he happens to win the Premier League and play in the Champions League final, whether he wins it or not, and takes England to the triumph of really winning or lifting the Champions League, Bukayo Saka can find himself into that bracket of winning a Ballon d'Or. And he was like, I think he sat down with Gareth Southgate and told him, please, look, if you force me to play in these games, it might end my career. Sorry, it might end my season, and it might end out to be one of the worst seasons that I've ever gone ahead to experience at the club of Arsenal. But if you let me go and I rest for these 2 weeks, I get back fully fit, I play the remaining 10 games for Arsenal, and the 2 games, 10 in the Premier League and the 2 in the quarterfinals. If they go to the semi-finals, those will be more 2. And that means Saka is now left with 12 games, But if at all he plays up to the final, that means he'll have to play more 15 games. And Gareth Southgate got ahead to understand that there is a bigger fish to fry in the Euros than right now, because these games are not really called for, and you can as well try to bring in other players to try them out. I understand it was a hard decision for England to make, but they had to make it because Saka is needed more at Arsenal than at England. In almost all the qualifying games, Saka was there, he played his part, and why don't you really give him what he wants when he tells you that, please, I want to go ahead and really rest a little bit? But that injury, they've talked about a ego in the ankle, others are going to talk about the knee, muscle. So every time he really gets injured, you feel like there is something that is not going on well. But all I want to let you know is that he's going to be available as Arsenal is playing Man City. That is it. His availability is going to be proven very soon, and I think next week, that is around Wednesday, he'll be training with the club of Arsenal, and by the time Mikel Arteta comes in through to obviously tell us the press or give us the news, the team news, he'll be like confirming to us that Bukayo Saka is gonna be available. And it is really very important to have your best players when you're going to play the best team in the world, because hate them or love them, Man City is the best team in the world, and for Saka, it is just a moment of him to prove himself. I'm waiting for Saka to lift Arsenal to the trophy. I understand he's going to hit to score goals against goals against Burnley, goals against West Ham, but I want to see him take control of these remaining big games. Arsenal versus Man City, I want to see Bukayo Saka taking center stage. Arsenal versus Manchester United, I want to see Bukayo Saka taking center stage. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur, I want to see Bukayo Saka taking center stage. And that game of Aston Villa that they are going to be playing at the Emirates, I want to see him haunt these big teams. Even against Bayern Munich, I want to see him haunt Bayern Munich. I want to see him haunt Bayern Munich. And I think this is the time for Bukayo Saka to prove to the world that I'm the player you think I am. I've always been criticized by very many people in here who really think that I hate Bukayo Saka. I love Bukayo Saka, but my problem is they hail him a lot. There is a level they think he is at that he's not yet at. But the benefit of doubt I really give Bukayo Saka is he's young. He's only going to make 23 this year. So that means he's 2.5 years from his prime. And if we're going to hate to see to it that, apart from Messi, he's the player I've going to hate to see to it that he was really performing at levels before he hit his prime. And Cristiano Ronaldo, the consistency was really huge, and it never stopped at any moment. So for Saka, all I want to see him is that torment these teams. And he needed this rest. When he rested for 2 weeks last time, when England was playing, I think, the last 2 games, I think they had 1 game in the group stage and 1 friendly. He returned and he was on fire. He has been scoring goals, and for the past 3 months, he has been fit. That is Saka for you. Now, returning right now, having 12 games to play on the cards, I think this recharge is going to be enough. He's going to charge his batteries. The doctors at Arsenal are going to do the needful to obviously keep him fit, because they need him in the game of Man City, very important, and they need him in the double tie against Bayern Munich, because the tie for Bayern Munich gets you to the semi-final, and even though you are knocked out in the semi-finals, you've gonna hate to add more money to the one that you've already gonna hate to have. So Arsenal has so far made close to £100 million from the Champions League, and all in all, they're going to hit to make like €100 million, all £86 million in the quarter in all the games they're going to hit to play in the Champions League. And if they go to the semi-finals, they'll hit £100 million in there for you, helping them in this summer transfer window that is expected to be very exorbitant for the side of Arsenal. So we wait and see how that pans out, but it looks like this is an injury Bukayo Saka is going to hate to be carrying. And Bukayo Saka, I would advise, after the Euros, undergo a surgery. That is it. Undergo a surgery, because this injury might get from bad to worse. That is it. So after the Euros, go ahead and really undergo a surgery and rest for like 3 months, then return around it will be August, September, October, return around November, next year. November this year, you start playing. Don't do the preseason with Arsenal. If it's a surgery needed, undergo the surgery and you really charge your batteries. Sometimes you need to sacrifice, and Arsenal will be really doing great. And this is why I've gone ahead to let you know that Arsenal needs a right attacking midfielder with the left foot, because Saka is really having a big load of work with him to do at that side. Yet it would have gone ahead to be eased if at all this guy had someone else to obviously help him a little bit. Now let's cross to the Villa side. Is it the Midlands? And see what Douglas Luiz has to say about Watkins. Now, he has said, yes, I know the quality he has. I know he's an extraordinary striker. He's a forward that surprises me a lot for his finishing and also for how much he helps us defend. For me, he's one of the best strikers there is at the moment. Whoever doubts the quality of this young lad, whoever doubts the quality of Oli Watkins, then maybe football is not meant for you. This guy has gone ahead to put in a shift, and this shift has really resulted into him getting into the starting 11 of England when Harry Kane was really away injured. The lad is really exceptional. He's really exceptional. I tell you, he's better than Harry Kane. The only difference is that Oli Watkins is a late developer, right? And Harry Kane has always been really good. Ever since he hit the age of 23, he has been scoring in goals, and he is really some goals away from really breaking the record of Alan Shearer. And he will at a point X return to the Premier League to really get that job done and dusted. So when you look at Oli Watkins, he's one of the best strikers in the Premier League. 16 goals and 10 assists this season so far. That is really very, very amazing. And the remaining 10, you might find him score some 9 goals to really clinch 25 goals of his career, and that will be something very important if you really know what exactly this really means for a player of his caliber. So as it stands, I think Douglas Luiz is right. He's right about this guy. His finishing is really great. I've gone ahead to see this guy score goals that unbelievably I never thought he could really finish. Sometimes in the tight angle, he narrows down the angle. You ask yourself, how is he gonna hit this ball into the back of the net? And he surprisingly does it with a very surgical pursuit. That is Oli Watkins for you. For me, all he has to do is simple. Get himself out of Aston Villa, and I think a team should come in through and really cash in for the lad. Like, one team should come in through and really pay close to £100 million and sell off and get this player in. He deserves to be playing for Man United, either Arsenal, Liverpool. Man City has already 2 strikers. Liverpool needs a striker, another striker. Chelsea is looking in for a striker. You get? So teams like Newcastle should come out and obviously put money in this guy and really take him, because he's really good. 27 to 28 years of age. Nowadays strikers can play until 33 years of age. He still has some good 3-4 seasons in him, and if he has gone here to prove himself at Aston Villa that he can score 20 goals a season, then no one will have to really gate any worries on him, because he has gone ahead to prove to us that he's really that kind of striker. And his numbers have been really good, because last season, let me read to you when he came in the Premier League, 2020. So he was in the championship in 2019-2020, was playing for Brentford. That's when Aston Villa signed him. He played his first season, 2020-2021 in the Premier League. He's played 37 games and scored 14 goals with 5 assists. That was really exquisite. In the season of 2021-2022, 35 games played, 11 goals and 2 assists. 2022-2023, 37 games played, 15 goals and 6 assists. And this season, he has gone ahead to surpass all what he did in all the seasons at Aston Villa. 29 games played so far, 16 goals and 10 assists, meaning that he's left with 10 games to go, and he is really having a chance to clinch 20 goals ever in his career as Oli Watkins. So, on average, he plays 35 games out of the 38. He's not an injury-prone player. If you don't give him his flowers, then you just hate the guy. But he's really good, and Douglas Luiz has gone ahead to obviously give him his flowers. Let's obviously close it off with the story coming in through from this Inter Milan captain and Argentine international. While at the national duty, he has gone ahead to say the following, that I try to show it on the field. After that, I let people speak. Let the fans speak. I care little about that. In every training session, I show the coach that I'm always available for the team. Starting as a striker, as a substitute, not getting in. I work to wear this shirt because it's the most beautiful one. I like to compete. Sometimes the goal is not given. Today I tried it, but I couldn't. I will continue working, and let's hope in the next game I'll have an opportunity to score. I want to show those people who talk so much that it's not like that they are wrong, because I always give my best, he told Gaston Edul on TYC Sports. And he was talking about the Argentine fans that have gone ahead obviously criticize him. I know where the criticism comes in through. Every time fans have high expectations from you and you really promise little or present little, they'll come at you. At Man United recently, we had the same case when Marcus Rashford came out and really said that I really feel bad for everyone who questions my commitment at the club of Man United. And I was like, you shouldn't come out and say this. All you have to do is simple. Get into the queue, do the job, and no one is going to criticize you. Every time you see to it that the fans are going after you in a bad way, just know there is something you are supposed to be doing that you're not doing. That's the same case with this lad called Lautaro Martinez. I think at Argentina, he has been really having very, very, very bad seasons. And I think he needs to obviously elevate himself to the next level and admit that things are not going on well, and he needs obviously to rediscover himself. I know it's really a hard process, but it can really help him to really understand that the likes of Julian Alvarez are really doing good. And look at Mauro Icardi, he's also really doing well. And I don't know whether they are going to really get him back to the Argentine national team. But Julian Alves, the levels at which he performs at, there is no way this guy is really going to come out and really compete with him. When you look at the game of Argentina, when they went ahead to play against El Salvador, right? The starting 11 was as follows. He went ahead to play 90 minutes, but he couldn't obviously score a goal. And people will obviously come out and ask him, why aren't you scoring goals? This is how Argentina lined up when they're playing against El Salvador. All right. This is how they lined up. Because Messi was not there, so this was how they lined up. Martinez in goal, Perez right back, Gonzalez left back, Tagliafico and Sergio Romero into the central defense. De Paul, right winger, Paredes and Fernandez Enzo in the double pivot. Lo Celso, left forward or left winger. Then Di Maria and Lautaro Martinez led the line. And goals came in through from Cristiano Romero, Enzo Fernandez and Lo Celso. So this is why they're asking him, when you're playing against a team like El Salvador, why could he obviously find that ball into the back of the net? And that was the huge question that he was really answering. So guys, your thoughts on to Bukayo Saka injury update are welcome in the comment section below. Expected to be fit for the City tie. Then, what do you make about Lautaro Martinez responding to those people doubting his job at the Argentina national team? And lastly, Douglas Luiz piling or applauding Oli Watkins. Do you think the applauses were worth it? All that and more into the comment section below. Happy Palm Sunday to the Christians all over the world, and to the Muslims, Ramadan Kareem. Ciao, ciao.